I was looking to ask your advice on something.
Okay.
Okay, so I have this friend who this game recently came out and it was all they could talk about. It was all they loved, and I thought it was being really nice by letting them have that. And then I feel like I'm not really getting the same kind of respect due back because there's a game that I've recently found out that I love and I wanted to play, but I can't do that because this friend is being really demanding.
Is that right, aye?
that is right.
I feel like the one key difference between these two situations is the Friends game that they were so much wanting to play was it was on the actual day the game came out, whereas the game you're obsessed with playing right now, you've been playing for like a week. So asking you to take maybe an hour off today, something is maybe not a big ask.
I mean, I mean, I haven't even took the hood off. I'm playing it as we speak.
I can hear you fucking playing it, you bastard. I can literally
Like,
hear you, the controller.
I thought it was being so fly there as well. I was like that.
I can hear it.
In any case, do you want to hear about my Tunic journey?
Sure. How,
So, it's very hard. Oh, well, it's no hard. It's sometimes just really unfair.
Okay.
I believe, anyway. I think that the developers and the people behind making this game have done a really incredible job. I really do think so.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
The music in it is really nice. It's really. I know we kind of compared it to Dark Souls because they're kind of maybe in a similar vein, but what I really like about Tunic is that it's not as intense.
Yeah.
See if I die after like a good wee run, I die. It doesn't feel like this huge thing. It's like, oh, you're back to here or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you don't lose. It's not. It's a lot. I mean, it's a lot easier to recover yourself where you died.
Yeah.
So you don't really. I don't think there was ever a point when I was playing it where I actually died again before I could get back to where my body was to get my gold back. Whereas in Souls, there's been many times that has happened. Right. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I've still not went back to it. I stopped. I got to an area called the Quarry, like the kind of the very start of it.
Oh, okay.
And then that's when I stopped playing it.
Okay.
So I need to get back to it at some point.
Well, at this moment, I'm further than you.
I figured you would be.
And probably maybe not the hardest, but certainly the most frustrating. I won't spoil it, but your journey through the quarry and obviously subsequent journey after that takes you to a place where don't know how to describe it without spoiling it. You face a hell of a lot of enemies, and it's just it just really, really drains you. It just really whittles you down. But I'm having a lot of fun playing the game. I'm playing through it. One of the things that I really love about it is the nostalgia. I get that it's like kind of leaning on like Legend of Zelda, but other than like Tunic, I think that's maybe like the three gemstones. That's maybe like the kind of only on the nose Zelda references that I could kind of see. The rest of the references kind of range from like Sonic 3D. There's just like all these different games I feel that it kind of encapsulates.
Yeah.
Pandemonium as well for the PS1. There's a bit of that in there.
I've never even heard of that, I don't think.
Well, if you want obscure PS1 games, you let me know, and I'll tell you about Pandemonium.
It is a pretty cool wee game. I quite enjoying it. It's pretty good. I was I wasn't expecting it to be hard at all. When it first was announced, I saw it and I was like, oh, that looks like a cute game. It looks like it would be kind of a Zelda-like fun wee adventure game. And then I played it and got my arse kicked a wee bit, and I was like, all right, this game's no holding back. It's actually,
It's like you do kind of find yourself in some situations where you kind of have to lure enemies out, or you have to play as dirty as you can, as cheesy as you can. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
And the stories, the baffling story.
It's very Dark Souls-like in that sense, where the story is very it's not really told in a conventional way where you kind of know what's going on. It's very mysterious, and you just get little tidbits of information here and there, and you kind of have to put it together yourself to figure out what's going on.
What did you make of, like, the instruction booklet?
I quite like it, the way they've done it.
I like it.
It's like it's an instruction booklet, but it's like most of it you can't decipher. You kind of just have to figure out like what things mean in it.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, like you have to actually think about
clues.
it. A lot of it isn't just blatantly telling you what things are. It's like it's just like wee pictures and stuff, and you have to be like, okay, so that must be what that means, and that must be what that means, so that must be this. Which I quite like.
It's a puzzle in itself, I think. The instruction booklet, and obviously you need to get however many pages there are. I don't know. I've not collected it yet. I'm having a lot of fun.
Did you? So the only bosses, though, I think there's only been 3 bosses I fought up to the point I got to, which was the very first one, which is just this wee thing that flies about, and then it was the big fucking weird spider robot thing, and then librarian guy that flies about.
Oh, okay. What wee thing do you mean flying about?
It's just the very first boss that you fight. There's just like a wee. It's like. It's just like a wee flying machine thing that kind of flies about.
All right.
It's just the very first one you fight.
I fought the librarian.
I didn't. What's like out of the 3? What one did you find most difficult? Would you say?
Probably the siege engine.
The big fucking thing that's like you can get underneath it and hit it.
Aye.
That thing took me the most tries. Like
that was probably that.
Aye.
Because I fought the librarian first.
Really?
Really? Because this is the thing. Like, spoiler alert for the game. Like, you collect these gemstones, right? I had no idea where to collect these gemstones, so I was just kind of like going everywhere and trying to look for them. I don't know how I completely missed the siege engine, that boss, because I had like half a page, so I must have basically explored a part of the area, but no, that full part. So I ended up going forward, and I beat the librarian first, and then went back.
Huh.
When I was trying to look for places that I'd not been yet.
I didn't even find the area where the librarian and that is until I beat that siege boss. Like, until I completed that whole place. But the librarian at first seemed hard. But then I was like, let me try and just use like projectiles for the whole fight, and I was able to beat it really easily. And I was like, alright, if you just like shoot shit at him most of the time, he's not actually that bad.
Well, I pretty much just grabbed him.
With the magic orb thing.
I was like, you need to come here, slash you up kind of thing. But there's far harder bosses.
I would imagine so.
There was a boss that I was stuck on last night, and actually there was a boss that I was kind of stuck on before we started recording. That was really kind of why I get finished, but it's fine.
Well, fine. Excuse me. I mean, you know. Excuse me.
Well, do you want to hear about a situation that I was in today that I kind of feel really shitty for?
Okay.
So I was filling up the car, like filling it up with petrol, right? And then, so explain it. I was in the petrol station, and the filler upper is on the right, and so there's a car in the filler upper ahead of me to the left and to the right, so I'm boxed in. I can't move. and some delivery driver parks right behind me, so I can't even reverse it. Right, so I'm like that. Right, this is a situation. It's no situation I kind of want to be a part of, but I understand. It's whatever it is. I'll just wait. So I waited, and I think I waited a good 10 minutes.
Oof.
Because a couple of songs went by in the radio, right? So obviously the delivery driver that's boxed me in, right? The guy that was ahead of me left has moved on, and so I was going to pull it and go on my merry little way. This little driver decides to go, no, I'm going to cut right in there and start filling up. So that was, the situation escalated and I wasn't happy. So I was like, well, I'm going to be proactive about it. Rather than just sit here, I'll go into the garage, ask whose is the white van, and ask if they can, whatever the deal is, if they can move it because I'm boxed in and I've got places to be. So I go in and the guy's on the phone, right? And I'm kind of annoyed because I'm just looking at face value. I walk in and I see a guy and he's on his phone, right? So I go to the cashier. I was like, "Is that guy the guy who owns the white van?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't know. I suppose it is." And I'm like, "Well, he's blocking everybody for getting it, or he's blocking well, not everybody. He's blocking me for getting it." And what's the hold up kind of thing? So then I looked at the guy and I was like, "Excuse me," and maybe I said it with a wee bit of an attitude. But when I said "excuse me," I realised he was writing down information on the phone, and it kind of just dawned on me what situation he was in. He was at work, and he'd obviously been given like a credit card or a debit card to pay for fuel, and it either got declined at the station or the station didn't accept the card. So he's obviously in the middle of trying to get alternative payment for his fuel and stuff like that. And here's me trudging in going like, "Move your fucking van. I've got places to be. Move it." And it was just, I walked in, and the minute I said "excuse me" and I seen that the kind of what obviously he was doing, I was like that. Oh, I'm such an asshole, man. Like it just, and I just walked out. I didn't even say anything. I couldn't even say anything. I was like that. I need to go. No, it's not the one. What do you make of that?
It can't really like blame you. You're stuck there for a while, and you're like, right, what the fuck is going on? It's reasonable, I think, to try and go figure out what the fuck is happening, and be like, can you please move your motor so I can get out? Was there any other place they could have fucking stopped that wouldn't have just blocked you in? Because like, surely he would have noticed that.
Well, obviously he was filling up. And then he did try and pay for it, obviously, but whatever the payment, and he obviously wasn't going to run out. But it was a whole hassle, a headache for everybody involved, I think.
It seems like bad design on the petrol station to have a situation like that where you can like be boxed in because the people in front of you and behind you are not done yet. And you just can't get out if you're there. Like, why would they do that?
I mean, I hate enclosed spaces. Like, I hate being boxed in and closed kind of thing. So like, it was just making me feel a wee bit anxious, just sitting there. Like, I can't move forward. I can't go back. It's not like I can go. Like, I was seriously considering like a GTA moment where I like go straight through the fucking petrol pumps and like run out of bin, and then I was like debating how much damage the bin could do to my car just so I could get out of that situation.
Oh.
It was bad.
It's pretty bad.
But I hope everybody can laugh about it now. One of the ones.
Fuck, man. Have you ever had that situation where you've been where you've went into buy something and you've like a grocery store, you've like got all your shit at the checkout and you're like went to pay and your card got like declined?
Oh god, yes. Of course that's happened to me.
Aye, same.
Of course.
I've had
that. Even I could have £30 billion in my bank account and I would still have cold sweats whenever I go to put my card in that machine.
I had it happen once, and it turned, and I genuinely thought, fuck, if I, like, my thought process was like, shit, has there been a payment that's went out in my account automatically that I forgot about, and now I've no go, and I don't have as much as I thought I had to be able to pay for this shit. And then I went and and then I had to go, and luckily I was in a town centre where the bank that I'm party was like close by, so I could go and figure out what the fuck's going on. And I had to literally leave the store and be like, can you just put my stuff to the side, I'll be back, and after I figure out why my card's not gone through. And they're like, aye. I had to go all the way on, and then they were just like, aye, your card's just not reading properly, you have got enough funds and all that. And I was like, right, okay, thank God that it's just the card being fucked and no actual me having less money than I thought.
I would have actually been sweating that whole time, that walk to the bank.
Because in my head, I'm like, if I haven't got as much money as I thought, and I have to go all the way back, and then be like, right, I've not got as much as I thought, I have to put some stuff back, and then I would have just been annoying. I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake. But thankfully, that wasn't it. But it is mortifying, though, being there where your shit, there's people mortifying behind you, and you're just like, my cards are not gone through, I don't know what's happening, there's people waiting and I'm holding them up now, and I'm just like, oh.
It's so bad. It's one of these. It's happened to me a couple of times, and it's mostly been because I've either put in the wrong pin and locked out the card.
Oh, because it's if you did it 3 times wrong.
And I'm a pure idiot, and I double down on my bad decisions. And I've typed it in. If I've typed it in wrong once, then I'm determined to do it again. Other times, sometimes it's just so embarrassing. I'll just be like, no, I'll just leave it and go. Nah. I could have done a £50 show, and I'm like, nah, you'll need to put all that back because I can't go. I get actually a bit anxious every time I actually need to put my PIN number in, because it's so less often nowadays that I actually have to put the PIN in that I feel like I'm going to forget it completely. Because it used to be that every time I paid for something, I would have to put my card down and put the PIN in, but now you can just do the touch pay thing. Of course, up to £100 or something like that.
So 90% of the time I do that, and I very rarely take money out of my actual account. I very rarely carry cash on me. So how often I actually need to put my PIN number in is just once in a blue moon. So I'm pure, every time I have to actually do it, I'm like, right, let me just make sure this is actually the right number, because I don't know if I've maybe forgot it, or if I'm going to get the numbers mixed up.
Well, exactly, especially I've got obviously me and Alan are joint account, and then I've got my personal account, and sometimes they're not the same PIN.
Yeah,
and I feel like I'm dancing on a knife edge sometimes when I put in the card. I'm like, fuck, what one is it? It's just it's weird. It's meant to be one of these things that have made paying for stuff easier.
Yeah.
But for me, I feel more anxious. Because see, if I had the money in my hand, I know nothing can go wrong. Does that make sense?
Aye.
But see, if I'm relying on a card, anything could have happened to that card. For me, that card is in the ether and could be affected. But for all I know, by Cthulhu, card gets declined. I phone up my bank. What's up? Oh, it's all these eldritch lords. You know what it is. And you're sitting there like, I don't know what it is. Give me my money. Do you miss physical money?
Not really, no. It's just,
you think?
No, because having to pay with the money means having to carry a bunch of change around with you, probably, because you're never going to, you're never going to pay. I'm never going to go somewhere and buy something that's exactly £10 or £20. You know what I mean? There's always going to be a bit of change, and then it's I've got all this change carried about. I have to sort through, and then it gets to a situation where I'm paying for something, and because I've got so much change, I want to use the change, but then I feel like a dick getting holding handing over I've just a pile of coins to somebody to pay for something, and then they have to go through it, and I'm just like, fuck it, and fuck that, man.
I mean, when I was working as Asda, I never really was on the checkouts or anything like that, so I very rarely handled money. But if you're working a checkout now, it must just be so much easier. It must just be just people tapping the card. You don't need to do math,
Don't have to go into the till and all that shit.
No.
Aye. It's nice.
I was trying to play a wee bit there while we were talking, but I died.
Oh.
It's so annoying. It's so annoying. You'll find this when you play it. Like some of the future enemies just don't play fair. They just don't.
Oh, fuck's sake. There was see when so by the way, you never actually said, was the beach area where the 4 pillar things are that you have to activate? Was it?
Yes.
Was it that you just had to go and hold it in the middle?
It was.
Aye.
I was getting too bogged down in the instruction booklet.
Aye.
Because there's like I don't know if you've noticed it, but there's like tiny wee clues to directions and things in the booklet.
Yeah.
So I thought that it had to be done in a different a certain order, because there wasn't like any obvious sign that it was finished.
Mm.
But you were right.
Aye, when you activate all 4, you would expect some kind of like wee jingle thing or something to go like da 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 da, like yeah, you did it, but there isn't anything. So I had the same issue when I first got them all. I was like, is that it? Is that it? And I was like, because 2 the like, there's like, for people who haven't played the game, there's basically these monolith things you have to activate in an area, and they all connect into this middle part. So you would think when you activate them, this middle area does something. But 2 of the like pipe things with the magic are broken. So like when they didn't do it, and I was like, is there maybe something I have to actually do to fix them before it'll actually activate? And after I did that, because I did that first, and then I went into the frog area to get the magic orb, because I was like, oh, maybe I have to go in here first to get something that fixes these.
Yep.
So then I came back after that, and I was like, I still hasn't done anything, and I was like, how the fuck do I activate these? And then I went into the middle, and I just like tried the holiday thing that you use to activate the monoliths, and that did it, and I was like, oh, I just have to do that. Okay.
I genuinely would have took me days to figure it. I mean, I'd done the frog bit last, or no last, but basically I'd highlighted 3 pillars or activated them, and for the life of me I just couldn't get to the 4th one. And then I was like, from the clues in the map, I figured out I needed like a hook shot. Or something grabby. I needed something grabby.
Aye.
And then I was like, well, I've not explored that bit. I'll go in there, because surely the item for the map is in the map. Yeah. Kind of thing. And then that's when I did that one last. But obviously in the instruction booklet, the one that I did last says 1. So I'm like, so basically it's the same as you, just looked at it and went, wow, is that it? Something must be wrong. I've done something wrong.
It was a bit confusing. But I actually was, a good majority of the time that I was in that area, I was pure, it was very stressful, because the guy that's like guarding the entrance to like the frog well or whatever it's called, he actually kicked the shit out of me. And by the time I got done with him, I was like, so I found him after exploring a bit. He kicked the shit out of me. I went down the well, or the entrance to the frog area, and I was like, oh, this is like a whole other area, and I was like, let me finish up here first before I go down here. So I went back up, but I had like I had like barely any HP, and I had no potions left. So like the next 2 pillars that I had to activate, I basically was dealing with I had to try and deal with it getting hit once, because I was just so close to death. So I was literally like running away from like most of the enemies, or like just fighting them for a distance, and it was so stressful. And eventually I did die to them, and I was like, God damn it! I was like, it was just so stressful. Pure like constantly trying to just not get hit once, because I knew I would die and have to go all the way back to where I was, and I was just like, oh.
There have been moments where like I've been surrounded by enemies, and I've just basically said to myself, you're about to die, go and get whatever it is you need to get, or lift the bridge, or do whatever it is you need to do, and then die. Just as long as it's no for nothing.
Exactly. But it's a fun game. But I was playing that, and then on top of playing that, I've been doing my second playthrough of Elden Ring, and then also there was a Pokemon ROM hack that came out that interested me, and then also there was some people I know started up a new Minecraft server, and I started playing on that. So like I'll just go like all these other games distracted me from it, and I need to go back to it and finish it at some point.
You do really need to go back to it and finish it, because it is the way when I'm playing through it, or when I'm like playing the game, I'm just sitting thinking to myself, Rid would absolutely love this, or I can see why Rid liked this, or suggested it to me. Especially like if you're just at the quarry, then there's like parts after that I think you'll probably really enjoy. But yeah, I would love to be playing it right now, but I have to work.
Well,
apparently. Excuse me. How do you not just put down Elden Ring and just play it?
I don't know.
You heard exactly what I said.
Elden Ring is very addicting.
I've been debating getting it. Really, like, seriously debating getting it, because I'm bored of Destiny. I'm bored of Fallout. I can't really be bothered doing another Skyrim playthrough. I want something new, and I think Elden Ring might be the one.
It is very enjoyable. I'm liking it a lot. It's my game of the year for sure. But I mean, the year's still young. Speaking of games this year, Breath of the Wild 2 has been delayed. Don't know if you saw that. It was supposed to come out this year, like late this year, and they put out a wee video like a few days ago that was basically just like the director, like the Zelda games was basically like, right, listen, I know we said it was coming out this year, but we can have to delay it because it's taking longer for us to get shit done, so it won't be coming out until like spring 2023 basically. So, and I mean, I'm never gonna like complain about a game being delayed, because like I would rather it be delayed and actually like worked on as much as possible before it comes out. But obviously, at the same time, it's always disappointing when a game is delayed, because you're like, oh, but the silver lining in it is that if it gets delayed, that means it's not going to be out the exact same month as the new Pokemon games. So that's nice, because then I'm not got two new games at once that are like big, open world, and it's nice to have them apart from each other, so that I can focus on one at a time. So that's nice.
I was gonna say, do you think that like having different kind of release dates is maybe more a strategy, because obviously Elden Ring's open world and that's just brought out, and maybe they want, I don't know, breathing space.
I mean, it didn't stuck in stop. The people that made Horizon Zero Dawn, they released their game like I don't know if it was it was either the same day or like the same week Elden Ring came out.
The fact that you don't know who even developed it, and I've never even heard of that game, it tells me exactly that.
I mean, it's a PlayStation exclusive, so I don't know who made it. So, but it's actually hilarious and also so unfortunate. So Horizon Zero Dawn is the first one came out the same week, or it was either the same day or same week that Breath of the Wild came out, and then the second one came out the same week as Elden Ring, and it's just like, you couldn't have picked a worse time to compete with another game that's out. Like two of the like biggest games of the year.
Their calendar must just be absolutely empty. They're not even like somebody else in the market has released a game that's similar to yours, or a similar vein.
That's on multiple platforms and is way more popular. It's just, it's so unfortunate.
Silly geese.
But there are a fucking bunch of games coming out this year. Actually, there's the new Mario Strikers is coming out. That'll be fun. There's new Pokemon Gen 9 Pokemon games. There's a new Xenoblade game coming out, and then fucking Breath of the Wild early next year.
Xenoblade? Oh, like the guy from Smash that you like.
Shulk. So the series he's played, there's I've played the first one, which is the one he's played, which is, by the way, a fucking amazing game that I think people should play if you're into, if you like the kind of games that it is fucking amazing. I've not played the second one, but apparently the second one's pretty good. And then the third one's coming out this year, so I don't know, I might try and get the second one and play it sometime this year before the third one comes out. So
games just fall at your arse. You're just like, I'm playing this game, I'm playing that game.
Aye. I'm a
You've
gamer.
probably got gamer for life.
Proper
I bet
gamer.
you've got like 7 different chess games on with like different people all over the world while
I,
you're
f-
playing Elden Ring.
I fucking wish. I'm an absolute dog shit at chess. I know how to play chess, but I'm dog shit at it. I'm not good at chess. I cannot play chess properly. Like I kind of do pure like thinking multiple moves ahead and all that shit.
Hmm.
I basically play reactionary. Where I'm like, all right, so they did that. I'm gonna do this. Like I'm not good at
I
chess.
that's kind of I don't ever play chess. The closest I play is checkers, and that's usually my strategy. Is just no lose. See what they've done and no lose.
uh, but it's fucking. There's so much shit coming at man. But did you hear E3's been cancelled as well?
Really?
Apparently they're just not doing it this year. For what I read, it sounds like they're kind of decided that they don't like the way E3 is, and I think they're like wanted like day something a bit different or just day it differently. So I think they're just cancelled it for this year, and then maybe next year there's going to be some new thing they're going to do that's basically the same as E3 but different in some way. I don't know, but there's no E3 this year, so
That's weird.
I assume. I mean, Sony kind of basically don't do E3 anyway now. They just do their own thing, and Nintendo just do their directs. They don't really have a proper show. So I
Yeah.
assume they're still going to basically, they'll still just be like, oh, we'll just, Nintendo will just be like, oh, we'll just release a direct like we normally do around the time instead of,
Mm-hmm.
doing it at E3, we'll just do it ourselves. And I'm assuming Xbox will
Do
just
the
do the
same.
same thing. They'll just be like, oh, we'll just make it in. We show to
Expo.
release. Aye. So.
It does make sense though, because I guess I don't know. I don't think people are that really interested in E3 anymore. I think E3 was a big thing when like big titular games like Call of Duty and Halo and I don't know. Like for me, it feels like E3 used to be an event, but events like that seem to have just fell in the wayside, and I don't know if that's because of the pandemic. It's like the Oscars, obviously, the only reason people are talking about it this year is because Will Smith slapped Chris Rock,
Aye.
and it's nothing to do with any of the films, you know.
I genuinely thought when I woke up and like loaded up Twitter to be like, oh, what's happening? And I seen that trending, and I was like, what the fuck? I was so confused. I was like, what's happening? And if my first thought was, alright, was this some like bit they did, some fucking like scripted thing they did to try and like have people talk about the Oscars because nobody gives a shit about it anymore. But then as I looked at it, I was like, oh, this is real. He like actually got upset and smacked him, and I was like, oh my god.
Will Smith was not featuring him today.
That was crazy, man.
I mean, I woke up, I think maybe like 5 or 6 for like a pee, and I remember just like because I treat myself at night and I sit down when I pee. So I'm sitting down when I'm peeing. I just had my phone and I'm looking at my phone and just seeing all this shit about like Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, and I'm like, what is life? What is life in here? You couldn't have. I couldn't even have imagined that in my wildest dreams that Will Smith would slap Chris Rock.
It's kind of crazy. It's fucking. I think the most insane shit is the fact that they just continued the show and acted as if it didn't happen. Like there was no like people coming up and being like, right, well, you have to fucking leave because you can't do that.
Exactly.
Like, they was just like, oh no, we'll just continue the show. And then he won an Oscar, goes up and gives some speech, and everybody like is cheering him and all. And I'm like, did you just forget he like assaulted a comedian like 10 minutes ago? Like, what the fuck?
It's so weird how it's really weird how he just kind of got away with it.
Aye.
Like he literally assaulted someone live on TV. Like this person was doing their job as a host, and kind of they have like a rib with the audience. If you're in an audience and there's like a comedy host, then you kind of expect that you could be picked out for a joke.
Aye.
It's not personal. It's part of the show, and obviously like. I don't know, the Smiths made it very personal, really quick.
It's fucking, my god, it's crazy, man. And then
this is the thing. Like this is like I know this is like kind of celebrity gossip, and it's not really why people come to old kids on the pod. But like Jada Pinkett Smith cheated on Will Smith with one of her son's friends.
I did hear about that. I found out about that because of this. People talking about it.
Totally cucked him, right? It's totally like, well, apparently that like I think the interview was live on air, like them talking about their dirty laundry, which was left field, and so she basically said that, well, you didn't make me feel special, and this young kid made me feel special, and basically was like, yeah, it's your fault I've cheated on you, by the way. Like, me cheating on you could have been avoided if you had just paid attention to me. Like, that's basically what she says. And then for him to act like that on her behalf, that woman's ruining his career. She is putting him down the drain.
It's crazy to me that fucking... like, God forbid, communication, talking to your life partner about this instead of being like, well, rather than talking to him about it, these problems, I'm instead just going to go cheat. And it's just, that's clearly the solution. Or,
wait, do I go to my partner and say, listen, I'm having all these confused feelings right now because a younger gentleman, one of our children's friends, is making me feel really valued, and you should be making me feel like that, no them. So can we talk about that before I jump into bed with him?
Crazy, man. I did see a funny thing that people were like after the slap, he was like shouting at him like, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth, and then people were like, Chris Rock should have hit back with, maybe you should keep 18-year-old cock out of your wife's mouth. And I was like, whoa, I would have loved to have seen what his response to that would have been, because he would have, I think at that point, if he got up again to come at him, that might have been the point where people like actually tried to stop him and be like, alright, let's just stop this now.
There's no kind of coming back to that. But this is the thing, like Chris Rock. Is it Chris Rock?
Yes, Chris Rock, yeah.
Did I say Chris Tucker earlier on?
I don't think so.
I hope not. Anyway, Chris Rock, obviously a professional comedian. He would have had like a few devastating, like probably like really emotional damaged filled little jokes that he could have hurt Big Willie's wife. But he was like, nah, I'm not taking to do with this craziness. Not even as a joke. It's not even worth it.
It's fucking... it's... I like how... on the devil's advocate side of things, though, I will say, I find it really stupid that one of the responses people had to this was finding video clips of Will feel like 20, 30 years ago, like in the 90s, where he's like in an interview and like makes fun of somebody else for being bald. And it's like, okay, that was literally that was 30 years ago when he was like very young and stupid, so people change, so you can't just be like, oh well, you made fun of this person for being bald 30 years ago, so you're automatically not allowed to be offended by like somebody making fun of your wife for being bald now. It's like, what? That doesn't make any sense. What the fuck are you talking about? This is like stupid. It's like such a stupid thing to like be like, I gotcha, like, oh well, you made the same joke, a similar joke about somebody when you were a kid, so you have no right to be offended by it now. It's like, that's not how that works. People change.
That is so weird.
Like, what are you talking about?
Chances are Will Smith's made like every kind of joke under the sun. He's that kind of funny guy. Like, that's who he is. Like, so he's probably made a few jokes that he probably shouldn't have made, but that doesn't mean he can't turn around now and say, yeah, that joke's not, I don't like that joke, keep that joke away from me, or don't say that joke around me.
I mean, it's like he has every right to be offended and not like the thing that Chris said. He just shouldn't have slapped him. That's all.
Absolutely.
That's it. It's like, but he has every right to not like it and like be offended by it and be like, oh well, fuck you. But it's just the fact that he went up and slapped him. That's what it's like. All right, mate, you don't do that. That's not how you respond to somebody saying something like that you don't like. You don't just go up and hit them. Like,
you don't show everyone who idolizes you that that's how you solve your problems.
Aye, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, there's so many like young kids that probably love Will Smith and that could have been watching the Oscars or
Yep.
seen the clip online, and they see that like his response to somebody making a joke about him is to like go up and hit them. Like, so
Hmm.
many kids could be like, "Oh, that's how you deal with that," and it's like,
Oh,
okay,
I never
that's
knew it was okay. I never knew it was okay to slap people, but apparently it is. Will Smith said so. It's
yeah.
this. It's I don't know. It's a weird thing. Like I can't remember where I was watching it or where I was reading it, but I read like a very good point, which was usually celebrities will just sit back and they'll laugh at what doesn't matter what's said. They laugh because it's better for their career and their for their fans to believe that they can take a joke.
Mm.
Um, so even if they hated the joke or whatever it was, that was kind of always dealt with after the fact.
Aye.
You know, like by the way, just to let you know, I laughed at the time, but I didn't like that joke or whatever it is, right? Will Smith turned around and went, "No, I'm sorting this right here and right now for a lassie that's cheated on me and that's clearly ruining my psyche, and I'm about to ruin my career. Hold tight, everybody,
Aye.
hold tight."
The whole Smith family are a bit nuts, to be honest.
It's
Fucking.
a, I read somebody was, I think maybe they were Scientologists or something like that.
I think they. I think they are. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna. They either are or maybe. I don't
I don't
remember
know. I
if they
don't
are.
know if it's concrete. I don't know if it's concrete. Um,
I don't think they are, but it's maybe they have. I think it's just a rumor that they are or that they were,
mhm.
but I don't know why. Um, I don't know where it comes from though. But I mean, even if they aren't, they're still just a bit weird.
QK.
They're just a bit. Like fucking. Have you ever seen the shit that his son tweets out? What's his name?
Jaden.
Jaden Smith. Have you ever seen the shit he like tweets and that? It's like the most like batshit stuff.
It's very college stoner try to be philosopher.
Aye.
You know, like that stoner at college that's takes a philosophy class.
He's just like he just it's like he just thinks he's something and he's like, oh, that's so deep, and then he tweets it out
Mhm.
and everybody's like, ah, what are you on?
Aye,
That doesn't mean anything.
that's the thing. Like, see, when you're so high on drugs all the time, like your perception of reality changes. So he's obviously thinking that, you know, he's sitting there like, wow, I'm like so deep, intelligent, thoughtful, and really everybody's like, nah, you're just a junkie. Like you're just no. Well, I mean, read some of them out. Some of them are hilarious.
I also find it really irritating that every tweet he does, no matter what the actual sentence or thing is, every single word is capitalized, and it's like,
Despise that.
why? Just
Stop shouting at
why?
me. Hmm. Please, sir. Please stop shouting at me.
Just oh my god. Uh, Let me see. I'm trying to like. He's just a lot of his tweets are just like retweeting weird shit and talking about like his music or something.
Yeah, it's music.
I think so. Either that or it was, I don't know. Maybe it was like somebody he knows that does music or something.
I thought I don't know. Maybe he does do music.
I know the daughter does music. Willow is her name. I think Willow Smith.
Willow. Yep.
I think she still does
Willow
music, but
Smith.
I'm not sure.
Cut a vibe, baby. Are you coming for the ride? Have you seen that one?
I have not. I think the only song of hers I've ever known was that fucking "I flip my hair back and forth." That's like
That I think that was like her breakthrough. But
aye.
she has you've maybe seen it in like a lot of like social posts like Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that. It's a song about vibes, and it's catch a vibe, baby. Are you coming for the ride? I just want to stay for the night.
Not
No,
nah, does not
oh
sound familiar.
no. It's I don't know how to describe it, but it's basically this like song that a lot of people just latched onto for the word vibe. I'm imagining.
Hmm.
But yeah, so she's busy in music. Will Smith's busy in cooking.
Did you know that they actually have a third son who's the eldest that does not do any like? He just like is totally out in the public eye kind of thing. He's like, I don't want to part of any of this. I don't want to be famous. I want to just do my own thing.
Very, very clever of him to do that.
Yeah.
A lot of people are really surprised when they find out that there is another Smith.
Because that is one of the things where you would assume that if Will Smith had any kids, like they would all probably want to be an actor or something,
A rapper,
or just they would want to do something that would make them famous. Like, because that's usually how a lot of celebrities' kids are. They're usually like they get into the entertainment industry in some way.
Mm-hmm. Do you think they're obviously, we were saying earlier that if we were feeling certain types of things, we wouldn't just go up and slap somebody. Let's just know the done thing. But do you think that in the kind of Hollywood lifestyle that maybe it is the done thing? Maybe these kind of rules just don't apply to them. If you slapped anybody else. Put it this way: if you went to a work night out and slapped somebody, you would be getting a dismissal. You'd be getting a meeting without coffee.
Pretty much.
Not for Will Smith though.
I will say, I can absolutely say this. As much as I disagree with the fact that he slapped Chris Rock, the one thing that I would always be completely fine with celebrities doing in terms of that is hitting paparazzi. Because they are fucking leeches, the scum of the earth, absolute just sick people. If I ever see a video of a celebrity smacking the shit out of a paparazzi that's not leaving them alone, I'd be like, good on you. Fuck them. Absolutely fuck them.
Do it again.
They are actual scum.
I love see Tobey Maguire.
Oh, I've seen. Is it the clip where they're surrounding his boat and he's like, "Get the fuck out of the way!"
It's just so funny. Celebrities, right? I get that some people have an interest in their life, and not just obviously celebrities, but anybody that is in the public eye that's popular. People, they want to know about their life. They want to, they want to be that wee bit more curious. But I don't know how it is legal to go up, invade someone's complete personal privacy, take pictures of their house, take pictures of them. I don't think that just because you're a celebrity means that you should be open to particular types of abuse like that. Because that's abuse. That is horrible. I can't imagine it.
Do you know some of this even worse than that as well? Even just it's bad enough that they'll stalk the actual celebrity themselves and shit and surround them and surround their car and all that kind of shit and constantly taking pictures and not letting them leave and shit. But there was a thing I seen the other day. Who the fuck was it? Where there was a paparazzi that was parked his car outside of a celebrity's kid's school and was waiting to take pictures of the child as they were getting picked up for school and that. It's that is
that's vermin.
That is actually so fucking horrendous behaviour. Who the fuck does that?
They obviously come up with the excuse that it's they get paid for the pictures and stuff like that. But I don't get how you can turn around and go okay, for my job, I'm going to go and stalk someone. I'm going to go and take pictures of their family, places they go and like to visit. And if I see them doing anything other than that's angelic behaviour, I'm going to spin a story and sell a story.
It's fucking crazy. It's crazy to think if you went up to somebody who's got their car parked outside of a school and they're sitting with a big fucking expensive camera, right? And you go up to them and you're like, "What are you doing? This looks really creepy that you're sitting outside a school with a camera and your motor." And you're like, "Well, I'm waiting for a certain kid to come out so that I can get some pictures of them, you would like. You would just be like, right, I'm phoning the police, but then they're like, oh no, wait, no, it's all right because it's Will Smith's kids or whatever. Like just as an example, just and celebrity on the mind. It's like, it's Will Smith's kids. Then people are like, okay, that's okay then. Understandable. Like
that's completely fine.
That's totally fine. It's not okay for you to stalk children outside their school if it's a celebrity's kid. That makes sense. That's totally reasonable. Like what the fuck?
It's actually just horrible behaviour. I don't understand it.
They're scum, man. They're absolute scum.
I'm sure paparazzi means something in Italian. Like there's it means something in Italian, and that's why they're called it. Paparazzi or paparazzo.
From Italian, from the name of a character in a film, apparently.
Oh.
So.
I thought it meant
that's what it.
I thought it meant rat.
That would make sense. That would make
sense.
sense.
Honestly, I thought it meant rat, like paparazzi. I thought it meant like something rat, like greedy rat or something. I don't know.
But they are scum. I do love one of my favourite videos is that video where there's a paparazzi outside of Kanye West's house and like early in the morning, and he comes out and he's got morning Kanye, and he just goes, shut the fuck up. Like, as much as I don't like Kanye because he's an absolutely insane person, I love that video.
I do.
That immediate response is shut the fuck up. Because you would, if somebody was outside your house that early in the morning, like stalking you like that, you would be like, shut the fuck up. Fuck off. Do not talk to me.
That guy obviously knew exactly what he was doing, showing up outside somebody's house at that time in the morning, and then having the absolute gall and audacity to be like, oh, good morning, as if they're in on it as well, as if they're happy to be there. No. They're two rats.
I love, there was a video, there was an image I seen the other day as well, where it was some celebrity who like went up to a paparazzi in his car and started taking pictures of him, and his like face is so shocked to be like, what's happening? Like, oh, but you don't like it what's happening to you? No, you don't like it when somebody's coming at you taking pictures of you, and when you're just sitting privately doing your own thing. How funny that?
Exactly. That is funny. It's weird because like maybe like I've seen obviously like Daniel Radcliffe, like he's went to some extreme measures to kind of deal with the paparazzi, because I think that the only reason, like Daniel Radcliffe, obviously he's not played Harry Potter in a very long time, but I think these paparazzi people will never forget him as Harry Potter. So they'll always look for a photo of Harry Potter. It's never Daniel Radcliffe or any other character he's played. It's always Harry Potter, you know. And he's like wore the same clothes. All the pictures are the same, essentially. So like, I think Leonardo DiCaprio does it as well, where they wear the same outfit so that they can't sell the pictures, because you can't tell the difference between a picture last week and this week. Does that make sense?
Aye.
I mean, this is the thing though. Like, what would you do to paparazzi? Like, if for some reason paparazzi, they're there, they're taking photos, they're in your life, they're invading your privacy. What do you do?
I would probably, I don't know, I'd probably like carry like an air horn about with me and just like blow it in their face every time they try and like talk to me, like shit like that, you know, or aye.
I think maybe like I would hit them where it hurts, right? I would get black spray paint, and I would like pose for pictures to a certain point, and then when I'm close enough, I would just spray paint their camera lens black, like literally ruin their instruments of work. Because if they're going to shove a camera in your face every day, well, you let them know that it's one, if they shove a camera in your face every day, it's going to get ruined.
Pretty much.
And they'll never get that photo that they're looking for.
It would be nice if I mean, the amount of like money and stuff that some of these celebrities have, they could probably afford to hire people to like stalk the paparazzi back and
Mm.
make them see how fucking horrible it is. You know what
I
I
mean,
mean?
well, if they've got all that money, right, and I'd imagine, I mean, you'll hear stories like you can get private investigators and stuff like that.
Mm.
So, like, I can imagine these celebrities going to like private investigator and going like, "I investigate this particular paparazzi because they never leave my house. They're constantly stalking my kid. They are, they're just doing all this unsavory shit. I want you to find out stuff about them. Just so you
Mm.
can basically go like, listen, you're an unsavory character. Uh, Stay the fuck away from my family."
It's, I do not envy. That is one thing. Is I do not
Hmm.
envy uh, people in the public eye. Like for that, like having to deal with that
Yeah,
shit is just it'd be so fucking exhausting.
yeah, exhausting's the word, and ridiculous because like I kind of I'm just thinking about there for like the people that are in the public eye but don't have maybe like the funds to like keep security or
Aye,
to like make sure that they've got somebody around them at all times. So like people who've maybe been in the public eye maybe in like the 80s or 90s and they maybe don't have a career now, but people back then still remember them, and
aye.
there's you get very obsessed with people.
Or like as well as like people who have like just became famous for something and
Aye, they don't
they're like
they don't have anything figured out.
they're the hot new thing, so they wouldn't have all that shit figured out. They wouldn't have like all this, they wouldn't have like bodyguards and all that kind of shit.
Hmm.
They would just have to deal with it, and it would be like I just
I mean, like when you watch, think about like Beatles mania. To me, that was like the kind of first epitome of like people going absolutely wild, like buck wild for a celebrity.
mm-hmm.
Like people had like their idols kind of thing. But like Beatles was that one where it was like when you see like the videos of like these lassies, and obviously like at that point the Beatles was just the greatest thing in life for them, you know,
Aye.
and they're screaming, they're greeting, they're throwing things, they're it's crazy, it's wild to me the weird pedestal that some people put other people in. Because like if the Beatles were to walk by my street, I would be like, no,
Aye.
I wouldn't care. Like, what difference does it make to me if they're walking past my street, if they're in the house next door, or if they're in the country, a country 1,000 miles away? Makes no difference to me.
I don't
They're
get it,
they're
man.
not paying. They're not paying my bills.
Aye.
Beatles only putting food on my plate.
Uh, it's the worst. They're just people need to chill the fuck out. The whole culture around just
Other people.
just like fucking having this like praise, so much praise and all that, and like of these people who are just actors or musicians, and it's just like okay,
Yeah.
like you can enjoy their stuff, but like taking it, you just don't take it so far. It's just
I mean, I'll be honest. Like, there's been a couple of times where like I've been sitting and I'm absolutely the room's spinning because I'm so drunk, and I'm pure messaging celebrities like Lady Gaga, like you're an inspiration. You've done everything for me, you know.
mhm.
But I mean, I'm going to say that I've been drunk when I don't like sober message celebrities being like, "You're absolutely amazing. Love the new hit single." It's when I've had a wee drink,
uh,
which is really silly. You really shouldn't do that. But I guess in a way, like going back to like the paparazzi and like social media and stuff like that, it is like a really direct way to kind of be in contact or to kind of see what your idol's up to. If that makes sense.
aye,
And because it's so instant, I guess the next step for that is for it to be more instant. I think before like you would get a movie poster of the person you admired. Or, something like that. You get a poster or a signed autograph, but now you want them to follow you on social media, and you want them to interact with you on social media, like via lives or cameos. I don't know. It's just it's such a strange culture now, where like before, maybe like the 50s, 60s, a signed autograph or a signed poster or a signed book would have been fine, would have been enough. That would have been like you being close enough to your idol, like a nice comfort for everybody involved. But no, it's just very invasive. I feel it's like celebrities doing cameos. Like they're not arsed. They don't care about your name. They couldn't give a fuck what you're paying them to say. The fact they're getting paid. That's what they care about. Have you heard of Cameo?
Aye, I've looked at it a few times, like some of the people that are on it, and there's some surprising people on it, but it's like, it's fucking expensive. Some of them,
definitely. I'd say like a good 2% are maybe worth that money. Like I think Gilbert Gottfried. The cameos I've seen for him have been amazing.
He puts effort into it and that.
But most of these celebrities 9 times out of 10 have a list of people and messages, and they just sit there and read that for like an hour.
They'll just sit and read it. I don't really like care or put any like
effort into it.
They're just like, just read this,
I mean, if I was to do cameos for people, I'd want them to be. I don't know. I'd want them to be special because that's why they're paying you money. They're paying you money directly so that they can have like this authentic, personalized message, I guess. So if it was just like, "Hi there, blank. I hear it's your insert holiday. Hope you have a great time."
Like that's just like it's like a fucking robot. You might as well get a fucking. You might as well just get like a text-to-speech thing that just sounds like them at that point.
Absolutely, and get them like a cardboard cutout, like on the internet, which is like a craze,
Oh.
I'm gonna do you a cameo for your birthday, and I'm gonna try and put the least amount of effort I can into it, but then charge you as much money as I can think of for it.
Why would I pay for that?
Somebody's doing it. These celebrities are making killings on Cameo. Crazy. What you doing tonight?
I don't know. I don't have any plans.
I don't know if I'm coming or I might, but I don't know.
You were saying earlier, you were thinking about it. I don't know. If you don't come on, I'll probably just sit and watch Twitch and YouTube and just play a bit of Elden Ring and Minecraft and that, Usual shit.
I mean, I'm thinking that I maybe could get out the house and give Alan the Xbox because he's really loving that Microsoft Flight Simulator. Let me tell you.
I was going to say, I'm surprised that the PC he's got wouldn't be able to just run it.
I mean, it probably could. I mean, I don't know, but let me tell you something, Stephen, and let me tell you something to the listeners. I thought me and Alan's relationship was deep in the water. I thought we had nothing left in common. It was just going to be a race to the grave. But it turns out there is an actual Xbox game he likes. An Xbox game he likes. Wow. Can you believe it? And so the relationship is saved.
Maybe you should get him some of the other simulator games and see if he latches onto them. Like
Absolutely not.
Trucking simulator, no.
Absolutely not.
Get him a wheel and everything to drive.
You don't understand with this whole flight simulator. He is a captain now. Look at me. He is the captain now.
Has he got like a joystick and stuff for it?
He wants to get it. There's like a pure authentic kit or something like that, and it's like 800 odd quid.
Oof. Jesus.
Crazy money in this simulator business. Crazy money.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll sit you down for the flight and everything. And be like, here are the exits, and you'll point to like the back door and the front door. you know, I'm honestly, I'm convinced he's ordered me like an air stewardess uniform off Amazon so I can serve refreshments for when he's got people there and he takes them on a flight to Aruba or something like that.
Put the dogs on the couch.
Oh, the dogs fly fine. Oh, aye. The dogs can fly. But it is a really good. It is a good simulator. Like we flew over our house
Mm.
the other day. Been to New York, obviously. Australia.
I've heard it is quite it's quite insane how much detail and stuff they do have on it for like it being the whole planet pretty much.
Literally the whole planet. Aye, it's pretty good. Enjoy it. But, I'm gonna go and let Alan know that I've just blasted our relationship on our YouTube and feed the puppies.
Sounds good, man. All right. Well, we will thank you guys for listening for this week, and we will see you next time.
Thanks for listening, guys. We'll speak to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.